The Republicans have been constantly lying to the American people about their plans to cut Social Security, among other incredibly important and popular programs. But one Republican senator is now admitting that they need to just admit that they've been lying about it. That is Senator John Curtis. Take a look.
Let me ask you, because Elon Musk ruffled some feathers when he referred to Social Security, something that he's also eyeing as a part of his Doge efforts, as a Ponzi scheme. Senator, do you see Social Security as a Ponzi scheme?
Well, I wouldn't use those words, but we're not being honest either with people. And that's why you'll actually see me in a couple of months introduce a change to Social Security. We're not being honest when we look people in the eye and say we're not going to touch it. If we don't touch it, it touches itself. You know that, right? That's not being honest with the American people. And I think that's one of the things that makes them not trust us when we say something that they just know is not true.
Okay, so I appreciate that he's at least admitting that they're gonna cut Social Security, although he's also revealing himself in a lot of the things that he said there. First of all, if we don't touch it, it'll touch itself. Like, dude, you got some issues domestically? What's going on exactly there? But anyway, I love that he said, when someone says, I wouldn't use those words, the only thing that means is, yes, but that's all that means. Nobody has ever said, I wouldn't use those words to mean no. They just say no in that case. He's saying yes. And then he says, we need to admit that we're going to touch it. We're gonna look at it. Oh, well, he's not saying they're gonna cut it, right? So maybe they're not. Maybe they're gonna touch it and it's gonna be better with more funding. Maybe they're gonna cut it. Stay tuned to find out. I'm on the edge of my freaking seat over here. So look, he's being more honest than all of the other senators, but he's still massively lying to you right there. They're gonna cut it. They're gonna give you less money back after what you paid in for years or decades. They're gonna make you grind out years more labor before you can finally get the money you've been paying into, which should be the least popular thing ever done in our government, other than maybe resettling all of those students with their student loan debt after it was canceled by Joe Biden. But they're admitting this. Now, we have a little bit more from him and then we'll discuss. Take a look.
We don't need to impact the people that are in Social Security. But if we don't have a conversation about my kids, our 20-year-olds, our 30-year-olds, that's where the problem is. And so we can't be afraid of this conversation simply because people think we're going to take it away from them. We all need to say, look, those in retirement and those near retirement, we're not going to touch it. You're safe. But let's have that conversation because my kids don't think they're going to get it. So why can't we have a conversation with them about moving some of the variables around? And the sooner we do it, the less dramatic it has to be. If we don't do it, we have worse decisions thrust upon us.
I mean, that's interesting. I always love the way they frame that. Like, hey, people who are getting it right now, you're safe, you're safe. People who are about to, don't worry, don't vote against us. You're safe, you're safe. Hey, what about everybody else? Well, you're not safe. That's all that means. Notice how he doesn't put it that way. And here's the thing. He's saying we have to make these tough choices because they don't think that they'll have it. Hey, I have a suggestion for a choice that I don't even think should be tough. What if we remove the cap on contributions to Social Security and just save the program that way? Can we have that talk? No, because that affects the wealthy and those are the only people you truly care about, not the kids that you're using as a paper shield to justify your cuts to this program. That's all they'd have to do. Why is that a tough conversation? We have to pay in for all of the income we make. Every dollar that we make is taxed for this program, but the wealthy don't have to do that. It's not equal. We are effectively subsidizing the program for the wealthy, the people who have the most means to contribute to it. And so, look, again, he's being a little bit more honest in admitting that they're going to cut it. They're gonna push back the retirement age. They're gonna screw over everyone who isn't like 62 years old right now, JR. But there's still a lot of lying there. And this is where the Democrats have got to step in and make sure that people understand the stakes. What do you think?
Yeah, and the thing is, Democrats are saying a lot as far as they're coming for Social Security and all that is true, but there's a way you have to say it as well as they keep trying to change their messaging. Because John Curtis here was talking about how, he's trying to incrementally change exactly the expectations. Because the reasons why he didn't say I wouldn't call it a Ponzi scheme is because that's too harsh. It allowed people to come straight forward and stand up against us and say, this is some BS. We have to say, we're gonna kind of touch it so that you'll ease us into this taking of your money. We don't want you to be upset. We want you to continue to be passive as we just go through this and take all of your stuff. We're gonna tell our 20 and 30-year-olds, our children, yo, we're gonna screw you over, then we're gonna die happily and with all of your money, and continuing to give more of your money to people who absolutely can't do anything else with it except influence more politicians to continue to screw over regular people. That's really all they need to do with all this extra money, because what does Elon Musk need to do with all this extra money? What does he need to do with the money that he's got and that he's attempting to take more of, except continue to control more people's lives? That's why he tweets or X's out the ridiculous things that he says, because he's wielding his power. His money's given him power, more power over our politicians to then legislate in his favor. It's pretty straightforward, which leads to the last thought. I know we have only a second. These tough choices that they keep talking about, because Donald Trump, Elon Musk during the campaign talked about tough choices you gotta make in the short term, so in the long term we'll all be much better off. Why are you trusting the guy that doesn't have to make any tough choices but you do? Why is that always the case? So I'm gonna tell you, yeah, you got tough choices to make. I'm gonna be great, so you have to make tough choices so that we all can get along. How is this a collective society that they're doing all the work and you're the one that's sitting back and taking the benefits? It's the mindset of a billionaire who benefited off of other people's backs his whole life.
Again, yeah, they've been saying constantly like, oh, there's gonna be a little bit of suffering. Not for them, not for these rich a-holes. Your pain, their gain, that's it. Okay, you might not get to retire until you're 80 or something. Meanwhile, Elon Musk went to a $2 million dinner last night. I don't mean that the dinner cost $2 million. I mean his 2 seats cost $2 million. You think he's suffering? You think he's experiencing pain? Oh, it's a tight period. No, it ain't. Not for these people. Again, when are they gonna start suffering? Sorry, Pam Bondi. I mean that metaphorically. Don't come after me. Anyway. That's all the time we have for the first hour of the show. Okay, we have a little bit more time. I just want to let you know, apparently, in addition to all of this, where they're admitting that they're going to cut it, Howard Lutnick, who I feel like is just in the administration to say unpopular things and make the other people seem less terrible by comparison. He said that only fraudsters are complaining about not getting their Social Security checks, not honest people. Like, remember we talked last week about the guy who was declared dead, even though he wasn't, and they still haven't given him 2 months worth of payments? I guess he's a fraudster. No, he's the victim of a fraudster, of Elon Musk and Doggy, who've stolen his money. And he then went on to say that if a bunch of people didn't get their checks, like because of disruptions in the service, they wouldn't be that mad. Like even his 94-year-old mom wouldn't get mad. Okay, keep with that messaging. Please put Howard Lutnick on TV more. I want him out front and center so we can produce a lot of great political ads out of it. If you enjoyed that, then make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming a member. So you're probably wondering, why would I do that? Well, when you do that, you get access to bonus content that I make every single week with Francesca Fiorentini, and it's a lot of fun. You get custom emojis and more. If you join at tier 3, by the way, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself. And you'll get all that going forward, but you'll also unlock years of the back catalog that is literally 100 or more bonus clips and top 10 lists and debates and more. So what are you waiting for?